అమృతవల్లి మేడం. మేడం గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ మేడం. Madam, can you listen my voice? Madam, good morning.
Am I audible?
Madam, can you listen my voice?
Yeah, you are audible. Am I audible? Hello.
Ma'am. Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. You are audible.
Yes, sir. Can you switch on your video, ma'am?
Yeah. Am I visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. You speak, ma'am, now. You unmute yourself and speak, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, but your video is not seen, ma'am.
Video I have switched off. No. Am I
Okay.
audible, ma?
Yes, ma'am. Now
Right.
it's fine, ma'am.
Right.
Okay, ma'am. Then I will let you know when most of the participants join. It may take another 5 or 10 minutes, ma'am, please.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
ma'am.
problem. You can give me
Okay.
a call.
Yes, ma'am. I'll call you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes.
7, 8 technical sessions. Let's begin this session. Okay, today we have 3 technical sessions. One is an implementation of ethics and values through outcome-based education by Dr. T.G. Amrutavalli Madam, Professor Head, Department of Education, Sri Padmavati Mahila University. And the next technical session is on improvement in employability quotient by Professor M.T.V. Nagaraju Garu, Department of Education, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Madhya Pradesh. And the afternoon session, we are going to have on the topic designing of outcome-based question paper and course outcomes and PO map, program outcomes mapping. By a professor belongs to NIT Warangal, Professor I. Ajay Kumar Reddy Garu is a retired and emeritus professor of Department of Chemistry, and he is a research fellow in Teaching and Learning Center. So it's a request from afternoon session resource person that everybody, if you have, you should bring your laptops to the session, or you bring some smartphones. He's going to have some evaluation tools and techniques which he wants you to download and practice in the session itself. So I request all the participants to keep your smartphones or Wi-Fi connected laptops in this session. So before starting this session, దీంట్లో ఆఫ్ అయింది video. So I have few announcements to make. Already I have mailed all the participants that there are some participants, they have not paid the registration fee. In spite of that, they have added some photos to that in the Google form. I request them to pay the registration fee. We don't mind sharing the links for learning purpose. For issuing certificates, I request everyone to pay the registration fee. Another thing, we have shared the quiz links, and only 99 members of this FDP have answered the quiz, and we request others to answer. It's not only a request, it's really necessary for getting certificate. So before afternoon, I request all the participants to complete the quiz. Now we have opened the quiz again. We request whoever got less than 50%, that means below 10 marks, and who are not attempted, can take the test again. So you complete it by afternoon. So the minimum qualification mark is 10. Person, Dr. T.G. Amrutavalli Madam Garu, to the session. And I invite Dr. V. Masala Manigaru onto the dais to chair this session, please. We welcome you, sir. And I also request Dr. A. Ramesh Garu to come onto the dais to act as reporter. Welcome you, Ramesh, sir. So I request the chairperson of this session to continue the proceedings, please.
Good morning to everybody. It gives immense pleasure to me to stand before you of the 5-day UGC sponsored online offline faculty development program on outcome based education, teaching, learning and evaluation, a transformational perspective on quality mobility of higher education. This program conducted from 26th and 30th this month. It is time to invite our resource person, Professor T.G. Amudavalli Garu, Professor, Department of Education, Sri Padmavati Mahila Viswadhyalayam Tirupati. She is expertise in pedagogy of English, educational guidance and counseling, psychological foundation of education, educational technology and ICT, educational research methodology, special education, teacher education. She has 22 years experience. Her research experience 20 years. She guided 7 PhDs, 5 PhD enrolled. She guided 3 projects, 2 completed, 1 ongoing. That is a major research project. Her publication 60 publications. That is 40 national international journals, 20 book chapters, national international. She organized 5 conference, workshops, seminars. She attended 60 conference, workshops, seminars. Her outreach program, community-based rehabilitation for the hearing impaired, educational and vocational guidance in the adopted villages in and around Tirupati. Welcome you, madam, to address the gathering. I hope, thank you, madam, thank you. Welcome you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Samuel, for your very kind introduction of mine. At the outset, let me thank the organizers of the 5-day FDP. FDP, that is PVKN Government College at Chittoor. This title is the need of the hour, which is very nice and very good, very good step taken by the college for organizing this F, for this FDP. I must thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts through virtual mode. Though I actually, as a teacher, I do not like virtual mode, but the situation has compelled us, and it is a blessing in disguise that at least we have this virtual mode to share our thoughts, thanks to the technology. This one, title, this title is a very interesting title given to me. It is a very interesting title, that is ethics and morals. Ethics and morals of as an outcome of education. It is a very interesting title and it is a very important title. which is actually being ignored in education at all levels. Uh, as we as we all know, I'll just share some of my video. I hope it is visible. I'll just please tell me if it is visible.
No, ma'am.
It is not visible. My PPT not visible.
It
It's
is
visible, ma'am.
visible now, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. This ethics and values through outcome based education. It is a very interesting title, because though we don't have content or some as in other titles, we can't give lot of materials directly but this ethics and values is really important, which is which has to be imbibed, and which is an innate aspect of any education. This, see, we all know as a teacher, as a parent, we all know that the question of whether ethics and values need to be taught, or whether ethics and values is required, it is an absurd question. It is an absurd thought also, because this needs to be learnt. Ethics and values need to be learned either directly or indirectly. It needs to be learnt. Earlier, say when we were kids, or when our grandparents or our parents during those time, they used to not worry about this ethics and values. During the earlier part of education, that is initial stages of education during the Gurukula system, when all the students used to leave the home for many years to the gurus residence, and wherein they used to learn everything everything from running a family to running a vocation, and for the benefit of the society, protecting the society, everything they used to learn from the guru, away from the family. But then also during the Gurukula system also, ethics and values were not taught directly. It was given in the mode of the way of life, how the way of life is planned, how the way of learning is planned, how the way of education is planned. Through that, the ethics and values were given then. Even during our period also, it was almost similar. We were going to the school, we were going to the college, but we used to follow the ethics and values which was innate in the education system. But now we are talking a lot about values. Why is it so? Because of the value degradation, because of the problems our youth are facing, who are going to the productive citizen of tomorrow. We are wasting the productive citizens far due to this value degradation. The way of their behavior, the way of their perception of values and ethics is so different. It is very different, because we cannot blame them also. Why we cannot blame? So naturally, the students are having a confusion. They are having confusion. with reference to this ethics and values which needs to be followed, which need not to be followed, or what is right and what is wrong. Still they are having lot of trouble in understanding, because they are getting different meanings from different sources. They are unable to rely on a particular source. So only this ethics and values and moral education have become thrust in the outcome based education. So we all know that, see, unless we educate a person from the psychological to the sociological aspect, when if we do not prepare the person for his psychological needs or the sociological needs, he will be nowhere. So if we concentrate only on the knowledge aspect, and if we do not concentrate on the way they are going to behave tomorrow, then they are going to be a menace to the society. They are going to be a threat to the society. The society will be affected by such individual. So some philosopher, he has rightly said that to educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to the society. So this is, I felt this quote is really good. When I just browsed through the internet, I felt this is very good, and it gives the meaning directly. So only I wanted to share this. In addition, this we all share these words: ethics, morals, values. Everybody use this word in one time or other, or in our daily way of communication. Also, we use this word in one way or other, in one way, in to somebody, to someone. They can be a small child or an adult. We will be using this word directly or indirectly. Though these three words look very similar and they have similar meaning, they are interrelated. Ethics, morals, and values are interrelated. As I have given in the slide, morality refers to the first order of beliefs and practices about good and evil, by means of which we guide our behavior. So it is innate, it is internal, through which we will be guiding our behavior. Whatever we have inside, whatever we have inside, inside us, the understanding
Ma'am,
or
sorry
the
to
belief.
interrupt you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you keep it in PowerPoint presentation mode, ma'am, please, so that the slide will be visible clearly?
Okay, okay. One second, one second, one second.
Thank you, ma'am.
One second, one second. Is it visible now? Is it visible?
No, ma'am, it's same way.
Oh, one second.
Otherwise, you press shift F5, ma'am.
Shift F5. Okay.
F5. Shift and F5.
One second. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. That's the problem with the technology which we are not used to. Right. Right. So this is, as I have told you, I just wanted to give you the meaning of ethics, morals, and values. Everybody will be using it in one way or other. The meaning from the slide I have given, it's very clear. It is, morality refers to the first order of beliefs and practices about good and evil, by means of which we guide our behavior. The belief we have, what belief we have with reference to the good and evil, what we think good, what we think evil, So accordingly, our behavior will be directed. That is the morality. And what is ethics? Ethics is nothing but the explicit philosophical reflection on moral beliefs and practices. So what ethics is nothing but which will be observed, which will be reflected by our behavior. So what morality is nothing but the belief system. So the ethics is how we reflect in our behavior and how we reflect in our practices. Then the differences when we take into consideration with reference to the ethics and morality is similar to the difference between the musicology and the music. Musicology is nothing but the study of the music. It is nothing but logos. Everybody knows who had studied psychology. It is nothing but study. So the study of music, unless you have the knowledge about the music, the expression of the music will not be clear. So the relation between the ethics and morality, when we take into consideration, it is nothing but the relation between the musicology and the music. Similarly, ethics is the conscious stepping back and reflecting on the morality. So what happens is, unless you have morality, you will not be able to reflect the ethics. So this is the difference between the ethics and the morality. And what do you mean by values? Values are the principles. What principles we have, what standards of behavior we have, one's judgment of what is important in life, that is the values. In daily day-to-day life, we will be using this word value. What is the value of this commodity? When we talk about the value of a commodity, we will be talking about the cost of the commodity. You all know, if anybody is from the economics background, you know how the cost of a commodity is fixed. It will be according to the demand, it will be according to the production, and it will be according to the usage. So even this value, our values, our behavior will be decided according to the judgment we give for that particular behavior. The principle we have, that will decide upon the values. So when we consider, when we see it in a pictorial mode, you will understand very clearly from the difference between the ethics, morals and values. This picture will give you a clear meaning. See, when you think about the friendship, then that is the value, and the ethics is nothing but we should not betray our friendship. That is the ethic we will be having, and the moral will be nothing but we should be helping our friends in their need. So this picture will be giving you a clear difference between the value, ethics, and the moral. Before I go into the difference between the ethics and the values, I would like to reiterate that see, this ethics and values and the moral system, all these things are reflected in all our commissions and the committees. In all the commissions and committees of education, values and the morals, it is being stressed. It is not that only now it is being talked about. They are being stressed from even after independence, even before independence. This values and ethics being given lot of importance in all the committees and the commissions of education. For example, I'm telling you, the Hartog Committee of 1929, it felt that the religious instruction can be given in common schools outside the school hours. So they have given the importance of religious instruction outside the classroom. Hartog Committee in 1929. Similarly, CABE, that is the Central Advisory Board of Education, it felt in 1946 that religious and moral instruction was important and that it should be left to the community to which the pupils belong. So they said there in that CAB, they said that the moral education and the religious education, though it is important, it should be left to the community to which the pupils belong. Again, in the Radhakrishnan Commission in 1948, felt that if we exclude spiritual training in our institutions, we would be untrue to our whole historical development. So it has given strong stress for the religious instructions or spiritual training in our institutions. So here, even the Secondary Education Commission's report in 1953, this also favored that religious and moral instructions should be given in schools outside the school hours on voluntary basis. The Sri Prakasa Commission of Religious and Moral Instructions in 1959 had recommended that moral education should be imparted in all educational institutions. Again, the Kothari Commission in 1964-66, it felt that the growing concern over the erosion of essential values, please note in 1986 itself, 86, it's 1964-66 itself. What they said that a serious defect in the school system is the absence of provision for education in social, moral, and spiritual values. A national system of education that is related to life, needs, and aspirations of the people cannot afford to ignore this purposeful force. So in Kothari Commission also, they have identified that there is a serious defect in the school system if they are not going to have this social, moral, and spiritual value stress in the education. In 1986, NPE also felt that the growing concern over the erosion of essential values and an increasing cynicism in society has brought to focus the need for readjustments in the curriculum in order to make education a forceful tool for the cultivation of social and moral values. So in NPE 1986 itself, they have stressed that through education, moral values need to be taught directly or indirectly to the students. Similarly, POA 1992. POA 1992 recommended that the framework emphasized value education as an integral part of school curriculum. It highlighted the values drawn from national goals, universal perceptions, ethical considerations, and character building. It also stressed the role of education in combating obscurantism, religious fanaticism, exploitation, and injustice, as well as the inculcation of values. So, as I have just quoted some of the commissions and committees which had stressed on values and morals. Almost all the committees have stressed this value education, stressed this moral education directly or indirectly. So there is no argument. The discussion with reference to whether the value education is required or moral education is required is absurd, because we need to think about how do we teach moral values, how do we teach value education, how do we give value education to the students of today and the productive citizen of tomorrow. So we need to know about the difference between the ethics and values. Before I go into that, I would like to reiterate on this learning domains we are concentrating in our education system. So we all know from psychology that the three main domains we are concentrating for educating the children through the curriculum. So we concentrate on the cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. But we know the fact that from the preschool to the higher education, more thrust is given to the cognitive domain, and the psychomotor domain naturally, because they need to be practiced for the usage and for the success. So the psychomotor domain is also concentrated to some extent, but the neglected domain, ignored domain, is the affective domain, which is creating lot of trouble in the success of the student, in the success of the citizen. So that needs to be concentrated. The affective domain needs to be concentrated, and that needs to be given lot of trust and importance. So this NEP 2020 also, like the National Policy of Education, NP, in 1986 also had stressed. NEP 2020 had given lot of stress, and it is concentrating on these 5 major areas of value system and the ethics system, which needs to be given through the different curricula: the truth, peace, non-violence, love, righteous conduct. So this is concentrated more in the NEP 2020. We all know about NEP 2020. It has actually overhauled the education system, and it is lots and lots is expected from the implementation of NEP 2020. So we can, though from all the commissions and committees have stressed upon this affective domain of the learning domains of education. So this NEP 2020 is going to is a promising implementation of value education. It is a promising implementation of ethical education. It is expected that the value system will change, ethical system will change in the students. Here I would like to give an example or my own experience from the students' attitude. When I had interacted with the students, when I had interacted with many of the parents of the students, with reference to different research, I have seen and observed that the many students, the students of today also are concentrating more on this cognitive domain and the psychomotor domain, and the parents are also concentrating more on the cognitive domain and the psychomotor domain. Say they want to get the marks. The thrust here is also with reference to the meaning of achievement. Academic achievement, the meaning of academic achievement, it is concentrating more on the cognitive domain and the psychomotor domain. Very less importance is given to the affective domain. When some of the speakers for this FDP would have spoken about or will be speaking about this evaluation system or the question paper system or the assessment system, they will be talking about. I'll not go into detail, but just my experience I'll tell you. If you observe the question papers from the primary school to the higher education, when you see the question paper, you will be seeing the questions only on the cognitive aspects and the psychomotor aspects, not on the affective aspect. Very less questions I have seen, except actually it is a requirement, it is a need. It is a need, but very less questions is needed, is being concentrated on that. Though we know that the evaluation type of questions or the qualitative type of questions for the cognitive questions is required, but very less is given. Maybe that is the reason why the students are concentrating more on the cognitive aspects of the learning and the psychomotor aspects of the learning. Another example I would like to give you. See, I have seen parents indirectly motivating their own wards in getting easy marks or easy achievements by using the loopholes in the practical system or in the contacts they have in the school system or in the college system. They are able to manipulate the achievements. Similarly, we all have seen the malpractices in the taking of exam. Everywhere in the education system, directly or indirectly, is stressing us or forcing us to think in terms of the ethics and the values and the morals to be imbibed by the students of today. So I also would like to tell you here in this platform that this moral values and the ethical values, it cannot be forced into somebody. It cannot be achieved or learnt just by the concept, just through the concept. That is, we all know, even the students who are misbehaving or the misconduct students, they all know that what is good and what is bad. But why are they behaving in that way? Because they believe that whatever they are doing, however they are behaving, it is right they are thinking. It is right they are thinking. When they are being corrected directly, they think that they are against, others are against their way of enjoying, their way of amusements. So all the correcting directly is not going to encourage the learning of morals or ethics. So how do we develop? That needs to be concentrated, that needs to be thought about. That is the need of the hour. So here when we think about how ethics and values differ, before itself I have told you the ethics is a set of morals for a specified group, while values are a set of standards or principles that determine the behavior. Similarly, ethics are often professional, while values are personal. So usually ethics, we talk about professional ethics. When you talk about values, it is more of individualistic. So it differs between individual to individual, how they are following the values. Values are determined by family background, culture, religion, and community. So that will be determined by all these school system. That is, family background also will determine the values. Culture will determine the values. Religion will determine the values. Community will determine the values. Whatever, how a student behaves or how an individual will behave will be determined by all these backgrounds. Similarly, ethics will differ according to the professions they are involved in, and the organizations or the institutes they are working for, or the institutes they are involved in. Ethics vary according to the profession, while values according to the individuals. It is repeated. Ethics helps to tell what is right or wrong, while values define priorities of life. This is a major difference. See, when ethics will be deciding whether, that is, it will be helping the individual, or it will be telling the individual what is right or the wrong, and whereas values will be defining the priorities of life, what they want. The value system will be deciding what priority they have in life. The people will priority will be varying according to individual. In the same profession, priorities will be varying. Some people will be valuing more of the monetary thing, and some people will be valuing the quality of the output they are going to give in terms of their profession. So ethics tend to be consistent, while values vary from one person to one person. That is, ethics tend to be consistent, means it will be the same for the profession. For a particular profession, say for example, when we are taking our degrees, we will be giving our oath. That will be usually an ethics. We will be following an ethic more code of conduct with reference to our profession. Examples of values are the likes, dislikes, prejudice, perspectives, and judgment. While ethics are honesty, integrity, punctuality, and loyalty. So this will be for a particular profession. So value-based education, how are we going to achieve? As I have told you before, all the commissions and committees and the programs of education, they have concentrated on the moral education, on the value education, directly or indirectly. As an outcome of this value stressed or moral stressed programs and commissions, MHRD had set up national resource centers for value education. National resource centers for value education of NGOs from different religious faiths, including the IITs and the IIMs. These NGOs can be a useful source in helping the schools to set up action plans, workshops, and materials, etc. So, this National Resource Centers for Value Education under MHRD, it can give a guiding source for setting up the plan of action for this values and the morals. Similarly, the NCERT has brought out a book on education for values in schools, a framework. This can also be a guide or a plan for setting up or for giving the ethics and moral values for the outcome-based education, for giving a stress on the outcome-based education. The UNESCO has brought out the learning the way of peace, a teacher's guide to peace education. This is also very important. Say, learning the way of peace, a teacher's guide to peace education. But here I would like to explain. I would like to stress the importance of the teacher in giving the moral education also. Similarly, our IGNOU has brought out self-development among teachers and students, a module, a book. They have brought out a book for self-development among teachers and students, which had stressed upon the moral values and the ethics to be followed by the teachers and the students. Similarly, CBSE has brought out in its curriculum, particularly in the class 6 level, with reference to life skills education. So all these things can be a base. We have not ignored in the education system. We have not ignored but still we need to go a long way with reference to the moral and ethical outcome-based education. This value-based education sources, who are the sources of value-based education? As I have stressed earlier also, value-based education cannot be achieved only through reading or only through knowledge, only through the content. It cannot be achieved. The main source of value-based education are the family or the significant others. Significant others of the students are the family members, the school, and the religion system, the culture system. All these sources give a lot of input to the budding citizen of the family, of the society. So the family members, whatever values is being followed in the family, whatever values is being followed by the significant others, will be achieved through observation learning. So we all know that the socialization, that is Albert Bandura's theory. Everybody knows about Albert Bandura's theory. He reiterates or he stresses that the social learning will be learned through observation and imitation. This value system or the values and ethics also needs to be observed, needs to be imitated, needs to be imbibed from the role models. So the role models are very important for the value-based education. But only the role model is not enough. It needs to be given through the content, through the curriculum. This importance, when we take into the importance of moral values, we all know that it is the main aim of human life. If we do not have values, if we do not have ethics, our life is not going to be successful. So it influences the behavioral traits and the conducts. How the individual is going to behave, how the ethics is going to be followed will be decided upon the moral values. So awareness of the strategies and approaches to be adopted to achieve personal and the professional goals. For this, moral values is required. To achieve the personal and the professional goals also, moral values are important. The feelings, desires, interests, attitudes, preferences, and opinions in terms of what is just, what is fair, and what is right, for this moral values are important, which is being lacking now. Characterizing what character the child is going to have, what character the student is going to have, that also needs to be given through the curriculum. Then view positivity in everything. As of late, we will be seeing that we have observed that the students or the children, they are not able to face the failures in academic achievement or failures in life. Earlier, in the previous generation and that before generation, they were taking the failures are the stepping stone to success. Now it's not like that. That is also because of the ethics and the moral values. That is because of the stress given to the cognitive domain, not to the affective domain. So this one, it's very pathetic to see that many good students attempt to suicide or leave their objective, leave their goal, reset their goal in life because of their failures in academic achievement. So viewing positivity in everything actually will be leading leading any achiever to the goals. But now the positivity is lacking. So this moral education and value education is very much required. And this moral values is need to be preserved and transmitted to all the generations. This is being done through the religion. So religion, I do not have anything against the atheist. So everybody has a right to believe in whatever they want to. But we all know that why the religion had come. Religion is nothing but it is the way of life. It is you get the code of conduct through the religion. You know that you will know the right and wrong through the religion. It will give you the direction for life. I'm not for any particular religion. I believe in all the religion. So why I believe in all religion is whatever religion we are following. No religion will ask their followers to have a wrong code of conduct, wrong code of value system. It will not allow any followers for any deterioration. All the religion in its principle, we wants the followers to survive, sustain, develop and prosper. So this religion, religious values, any religion needs to be preserved. The values and principles needs to be transmitted through the generations. So this, through this moral values, through this ethics, we will be forming a social group. We all know the benefit of the social group. Social group usually or is developed for the development of the society. When one individual, when one individual's outcome gives some development, when a group of individuals development join together, it will give further development. So effective participation, this moral values will help in the effective participation in social, political, religious, cultural and the economic activities. It will promote law, order and discipline. Values are experiments in the present and past. That is, see, we cannot fix anything. See, for any, in some of the in some of the behavior, we cannot fix this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, we cannot fix immediately. So it is always being an experiment today and it has been an experiment in the past. For example, the behavioral modification techniques to be used among the wrong behavior is changing according to the developments in the society. So it also determines the emotions by virtue of the values. So it will determine the emotions. Say value system, it will be affecting the physical, psychological and the sociological aspects of any individual. It will be affecting the emotional intelligence of the individual. It will be affecting the social intelligence of the individual. Unless an individual is good in the emotional intelligence or the social intelligence, he is not going to go anywhere. Both emotional intelligence and social intelligence are interrelated. We cannot ignore one and we cannot stress upon the other. Both are interrelated and both these things will be affected by the morals and by the ethics being followed. So there are very many values. Everybody knows what are the different values we have in life. I have given very few here. There are very many values in the society. For example, social values, we call aesthetic values, cognitive values, spiritual values, economic values, religious values, health values, political values, environmental values, cultural values. So there are very different values. So it will be reflected according to what the individual is involved in, where the individual is. The values will be accordingly. How do we develop these values? That needs to be concentrated. That is the thrust of this program also. This outcome based education. How do we give ethics and values through this outcome based education? Education outcome should also concentrate on this affective domain. How do we concentrate on this affective domain? It has to be instilled in the students directly or indirectly. It has to be instilled. Now the call of the hour is that one. So how we can do is inside the classroom and outside the classroom, we can develop thinking dispositions open. That is, we have to give an opportunity for the students to put out their thoughts openly. We should not give any judgmental statements. We should not be, as a teacher or as a parent or any significant other, we should not immediately pass any judgment on the thought aspect of somebody else. So the freedom should be there for bringing out the thought system. If the thought system is going to affect the individual, or if it is going to affect the society, then that is going to be the wrong values. So that needs to be slowly given, that understanding needs to be given slowly to the thinker. So develop thinking dispositions open. Whatever thinking is there in the students should be given the opportunity to openly talk about the thoughts they have. So they should not be afraid in bringing out the thought. That is, a good rapport should be there between the teacher and the student. A good rapport should be there between the parent and the child. The line of the fear, or the line of the difference in the thought system should not be there. So here indirectly the pupil centered learning is being stressed. Then the second suggestion is discussion, modeling, observation, practice, and reflection of the value system should be there in the classroom and outside the classroom. The students need to be given the opportunity to discuss about their problems, discuss about their value system, discuss about their principles. That whenever the discussion is there in anything, in any aspects, when discussion is there, the outcome is going to be good. There should not be any argument. Argument will not lead anywhere. Discussion will be leading to the solution. So modeling should be there. A modeling, we all know, as a teacher, we all know what is a modeling. Modeling is nothing but when we are going to act as a role, when we are going to be, whatever we want to expect from a student, whatever we want to expect from our child, if we follow that, naturally the child will be observing and imbibe that indirectly. So that needs to be done directly or indirectly. We can be conscious, or we can be, it should be a part and parcel of any teacher or a parent. Observation should be there. We should give the opportunity for the student, or for our own child, biological child, an opportunity for observing our behavior. Then the practice, we should give a opportunity for the student, for the child to practice the values they have learned directly or indirectly through our curriculum. Then the reflection also should be there. We need to reflect upon whatever we have learned, that the students should be given the opportunity to reflect their understanding of the values or the morals they have learned, they have learned inside the classroom or outside. This can be done by when we allow the child to discuss about our value system. That is, when we permit our child or permit our students to discuss about our behavior as a teacher or as a parent. Then assign work that matters. That is very important. See, this is nothing but the cognitive, when we are going to relate the three domains of learning. When you assign a work or when you give an activity to the students, it should cater to the needs of the affect, cognitive, psychomotor, and the affective domain. All three domains should be involved in giving the activity. Then provide models of excellence. Excellent models should be given to the students so that they will have a clear-cut idea about the value system. For example, we all give an example or role model of Mahatma Gandhi for non-violence. And we give the importance of that is the role model of Mother Teresa in giving the charity or in giving the service to the humankind. So the clear-cut models at all levels should be given to the students inside the classroom or in the curriculum. Then develop a culture that encourages feedback and revision. Feedback and revision also should be there in the curriculum for the moral education and ethical education. That is, the students should give the feedback about what they are feeling about the teacher, what they are feeling about the curriculum, or what they are feeling about the syllabus, or what they are feeling about the classroom or the peer group, about the management. So that freedom should be given in the education system. Prepare the students to make public presentations of the work. This will develop the students many values and the many ethics which needs to be followed by the students and by the career oriented person. So use rubrics to help students take responsibility for their learning. Rubrics is very important. See, we all know in the achievement tests, we use the rubrics. Similarly, for the value system also, we need to give the rubrics of learning the values and the mastery, values and the ethical system. We must encourage mastery learning. We should always encourage the total learning of any concept which involves the cognitive, psychomotor, and the affective domain. So finally, as a conclusion, I would like to reiterate that as a teacher, we are all a cognitive parent to the students. Biological parents give life to the students, give the real life to the students, and the cognitive parents, the teachers, we give the future to the students. We develop the individual, we develop the country through the students. So through the education, through the curriculum, we need to develop the morals and ethics among the students. We have all observed it is pathetic that many of the corruptions in the society, in many of the corruption in the society, in many of the problems or disasters to the life in the society is being done by the youth, is being done by the so-called educated youth. So what is the meaning of education if he is not going to have proper values and ethics? If he is really educated, he would have got the values and ethics which needs to be followed. So here I would like to stress again that we need to address the affective needs, needs that is stimulate self-education and enthusiasm among the students. There should never be forced behavioral change. There should be accepted behavioral change. That is why the corporal punishments is being removed. Because when we do something without understanding, by copying, then there will be only momentary result. There will not be a permanent result. There will not be it will not become an innate behavior of any individual. So there should not be any forced behavior. The forced behavior should not be there. Forced behavioral change should not be expected. So only we say that we need to make the students understand what is right and what is wrong. So what we say, what we tell will not have any impact. Just they will hear through one ear and leave through the other ear. It has to become a part and parcel of their behavior. That can be achieved through developing an understanding among the students. So here we need to establish new educational notions, should strengthen the teacher training, promote the teachers' professional growth, and improve their teaching quality. Here I am stressing on the teacher training and stressing on teachers' professional growth and the teaching quality. All these three are very related. In the teacher training program, the curriculum should be in such a way that it stresses the importance of how to impart moral education and value education, or the how to teach moral education and value education. So here actually I should not use teach, how to impart value education and moral education through the teaching. So how we need to promote the teacher's professional growth. Unless a teacher is a professional, he is not having the ethics of that profession. He needs to be professional. He needs to have self-respect. He needs to respect the profession. He needs to be thorough in his content. He needs to understand his role as a cognitive parent. Not only for the cognitive domain, it is for all the three domains. Then we need to improve the teaching quality. That teaching quality means that we need to teach with a passion, give the knowledge, share the knowledge with a passion to the students, so that the students also will catch the fire of the passion. Passion is such a thing that it will be very attractive. It will be imbibed by the students. It will be liked by the students. Then the educators' partnership should be there with the parents, with the mass media, with the civic responsibilities, racial and ethnic and religious groups. So there should not be any distance between the educators and other school system in the society. That is, we have to go hand in hand. We have to take the principles from all the schools of life. Moral education includes younger children. For the younger children, socialization into appropriate patterns of conduct that needs to be given for the younger children. Whereas for the older students, education for critical thinking and decision making that are part of adult moral maturity. This needs to be concentrated for the older students. And for the younger children, the socialization aspects should be concentrated. For all these things, examination of the complex issues that stir ethical debate in society in large should be given in the examination system. So that will be motivating the students to think critically, analyze what is right and what is wrong. It will be helping the students to take decision properly in their life. If a person is able to take a decision and if he is able to succeed in life, that means he is having a good moral, good ethics and good value system. So all the education should be value oriented. It should be direct or indirect. It should be innate, or it can be given in an open way as a moral education at all levels. So here I would like to pen my talk with this small thought of mine with reference to ethics and moral values. Thank you one and all for being with me for this session, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Madam? Yes, madam. Good morning, madam. Madam, good morning, madam.
Any queries? First ask the online viewers.
Madam, good morning, madam. I have acquired, madam. My name, hello?
Sir, we are able to listen to your voice, please.
Yes, madam. My name is Dr. B. Purushottam, madam. Madam, actually, science promotes atheism, madam. So, values of science have contrast with the religious values. In this context, how we inculcate values in science students? Your voice is not audible, madam.
Madam, can you hear us?
Hello.
Madam's voice is not audible, sir. Madam, you please unmute yourself and speak, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
madam.
Yes. See, as I have told you in my deliberation, that's a very good question. See, that's a very good question. Science actually does not say that, it does not say that religion is not there. It does not promote atheism. It is the belief. It is the belief that it is the belief of anybody else. As I told you, religion is nothing but the way of life. It was created. It was created to give a way for of life for any individual. So, as the individual had asked, how do we promote value system through science? See, value system, as I have given the examples of values, different types of values. In science also, in science education also, values are imbibed. Values are, see, for example, appreciation of the time, appreciation of the objectives set for any experiment, appreciation of the importance of any study. So when you are going to appreciate what is right and what is wrong, now you are going to have the values, right? So through science, you can give the values through what is right and what is wrong. So we should not bring the belief of religion in the science. Okay, so you have a right to prove and disprove anything. But when a belief system, when you believe in something, that belief system cannot be questioned. Okay, you can believe that you do not believe on something, and some people other people can have that belief system. So you cannot question the belief system. You can question only the right and the wrong. For in the science education also, you have the rights and the wrong. Wrong is always going to affect the individual, or it is going to affect the society. Anything which is going to affect the individual or anything which is going to affect the society, or for the deterioration of the society, is going to be wrong. So through science education, you are going to develop the right thing. So that itself is the values. So through whatever you are going to teach or learn through science, if it is going to achieve the objectives, then you are going to give the values.
Yes, madam. Nice, madam.
Yes.
Awesome answer, madam. Very good, madam. Very good, madam. Awesome answer. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
If any queries,
Good morning, ma'am. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. It's really
Good morning.
very. First, yes, ma'am. It is very nice presentation, ma'am. We are fortunate to have you online, ma'am. It's a nice presentation on ethics, values through outcome-based education. I have a quick question for you, ma'am. What do you actually mean by professionalism? Somebody is talking. Yes. Ma'am, what do you actually mean by professional? While you are talking in the PPT, from the PPT, ethics versus values, ma'am. Because something contradictory I'm seeing there. That is one question. And is it values are something or somewhat positive in nature according to me, but you have shown as a negative in sense and connect, and it connotes something negative in nature, ma'am, from your PPT. Same PPT, ma'am, where you have presented ethics versus values, ma'am. So values are something, according to me, that are positive in nature, and it connotes positive aspects of our behavior and that is based on our culture also. Um, that is second question, ma'am. And you concluded that ethics are somewhat professional in nature. So I think it is non-professional too. Can it be applied? I think, ma'am. So these are the three questions that I want to put to you, ma'am. Please, thank you, ma'am.
Right, right. It's a very nice thing. See, nowhere I have told that values are bad. Nowhere I have told that the ethics, I have just given you the slight difference in the meaning of ethics and the values. What I have told is just be the way we use the words ethics.
Sorry, ma'am.
You
Sorry
call
to interrupt you,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the PPT, you have said that values are dislikes, values are like prejudices. So values are not
No, no,
prejudice, ma'am.
no.
Yeah,
No,
it is
no.
shown in
In
PPT,
which,
ma'am.
one second, one second. I'll
Please,
just
ma'am.
check
The
out.
last point,
I'll
ma'am.
just check.
Last point.
Okay, okay. One second, one second. One second, Amma. One second. What is it? Here?
Not in conclusion, ma'am.
Okay.
Previous ones, ma'am. Ethics versus
One second,
ethics
one second.
versus values, ma'am. I think
One
second or
second.
third slide, I suppose, ma'am.
This one, ethics versus
Yes.
values.
Yes, ma'am. The last point, ma'am.
Okay, okay. See, here examples I have given. The thing is, it's not really the people will be having. I'm not saying that these are the values, right? See, here you have mistaken. See, what the prejudice you can have, some people will be using you will be thinking that they have the prejudice. That is their value. That is their value system. And the dislikes, they will have, some people will be having the dislikes towards something. So, and they will be saying that they will be having likes. So all these things, they think that they are having the values. See, for example, I'll tell you, see, all judgments, here it is not clear. In this, what I wanted to say through this slide is something different, Amma. It is not that the example, though I have given examples of values, the examples of values of the individuals they are having. They think that theirs is the right. For example, prejudice towards a religious group. They do not know that they are having the prejudice. They think that the way or their code of conduct in their religion is right, and the code of conduct or the behavior in another religion is wrong, right? So because of that, what happens is that individual thinks that I am right with reference to what my religion is saying. Whereas when the observer knows that the word for that value is the prejudice. Now do you understand? Maybe during my explanation I gave a wrong understanding to you. Here the examples of the values the individual is having. Okay, the individual may be having the likes and the dislikes. The likes for something, the dislikes for something is their value system. Okay, so but the real value, the observer will know whether that is right or the wrong. So we will be thinking that, say for example, I will say, use with reference to the food we take. with reference to the food we take, when we go into the Western countries or when we go abroad, the quality of the food which will be available there will be different from what we are taking here. So we will be having the likes and the dislikes. So what we will say, my God, they are eating everything raw. We will be using a derogatory word. See, they are using very raw. How can they eat like that? Such questions is wrong in terms of their perception, right? Whereas it may be right with reference to your understanding. So the examples of the value here, the examples of the values, it will be different from the individual to the individual. So I'm sorry if I have given a wrong understanding, but from this slide, what I wanted to say is, it will be differing from the individual to individual, but what happens is, until your value system is not going to be detrimental to you or to your society, it is going to develop you. If it is going to be detrimental to you or to the society, the way you behave, the way you believe is going to affect you or the society, it is going to affect you. It is a bad value. That is what I wanted to express from this one. And see, judgment, that's why I said, and judgment. While ethics are honesty, integrity, punctuality, loyalty, these are just I have given the examples. See, honesty, integrity, punctuality, loyalty, this is also used in the value system also. In the values you behave, the way you behave, your honesty will be brought out in many ways. For example, when a student is going to take up the examination, he is taking the examination, he should be honest to what he is giving in the paper. He should not copy from somebody else. If he is honest to his belief system, if he is honest to what he has to produce in his answer scripts, with reference to his belief or with reference to his knowledge, then he is expressing through writing the examination. That will be the values and that will be the ethics. So am I clear? Am I clear, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what about ethics are often professional? Is not non-professional too? It is relevant, ma'am.
No. What I wanted to say is, my explanation was, see, for every profession, you can take anything, Amma. See, a profession need not be only salaried thing. Okay, whatever you are doing, whatever you are proficient in, and whatever behavior you are exhibiting through your proficiency, that is going to be a profession. So this professional ethics is, if you are going to be a teacher, if you are a teacher, or if you are a medical professional, you are going to follow the ethics in relation to that. For example, I'll tell you, in a medical profession, they should not have emotional binding towards the patient they are going to treat, because that is their ethics. Whereas a teacher, we should have some amount of emotional binding towards our students. That is empathy. Empathy should be there also in medical profession. In a teaching profession, empathy is there. But the way we show the empathy is different from the way a medical professional will show the empathy. So the professional ethics will be differing. That's what I wanted to say, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you for discussing. It was a very nice discussion.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello,
Thank you,
ma'am.
madam.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Audible.
Ma'am, I am Sabita from Virudhunagar, Tamil Nadu, ma'am. I am a researcher in syllabus evaluation, ma'am. I have a doubt. I belong to English department. So in our syllabus, we are used to design according to the social, national, religious issues. The question is how it can be measured in assessment, because we are talking about in assessment mostly we design according to the Bloom's taxonomy, K1 to K8. In that we can measure it for moral and ethical values. This is my first.
Right.
Mm.
Okay, ma. Which department you belong? It was not
I
clear.
belongs to English.
Right. So it's a very nice question. In particularly through the literature department, you have a very direct way of evaluating the value system imbibed by the students. See, value system and the values you will be able to bring out through the questions on their evaluation of what they have learnt, right? Where if you are able to give the analytical question whether what they have understood is right or wrong, or how it will be useful to the humankind, then the values will be coming out. How much of values is being learnt, how much of values is being imbibed by the students.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. The next question I want to ask is affective domain. You talked about affective domain. Can be measured in a literature course, ma'am.
Yes. See, as I told you before, you have the benefit of the literature. You have the benefit of the discipline, because you will be in literature. Mostly in literature, you will be directly teaching and learning about the human behavior, about the society. Directly you will be learning everything with reference to the human behavior. It will be given in literature. So you have a benefit of your discipline in literature. Whereas in other disciplines, even in education and all, education also, we have the benefit of that. In science subject, as the previous participant had asked, in science subjects also, they will be given the values through the different way of learning. The methodology of learning and methodology of teaching will help in learning the values.
Okay, ma'am. So we can make use of these kind of words in our questions according to the K8. Is it possible,
Dr.
ma'am?
Sarita, small request. As we are running out of the time, I request you to post her your queries in our mail ID. We shall provide in the PPT, please.
Okay,
So I
okay, ma'am.
request all the participants, if you have any more queries, you can mail madam. With her permission, I shall give her mail ID. Kindly cooperate.
you can.
We are ahead. Next speaker is ahead, and we would like to give 10 minutes break for next session, please. I request the chairperson to continue.
Thank you, madam. Nice explanation. Now, the session reporter A. Ramesh Garu brief the session. Thank you, madam.
Good morning, everyone. I'm A. Ramesh, lecturer in chemistry. I am here to present vote of thanks for this session. First, I would like to thank our resource person, Professor T.Z. Amatavalli Madam, for enlightening us with their knowledge. The points for Professor T.Z. Amatavalli Madam told us about the topic, implementation of ethics and values through outcome-based education, importance of value-based education for the students to think about positive and universal human values and the ways to develop and express them, inspiring. Madam also nicely delivered difference between the ethics and moral values and types of values, and suggestions for developing values was really informative. Once again, I would like to thank Professor T.C. Amutavalli Madam for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with knowledge. Thank you so much, Madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful session.
Yeah,
It was really lively. And most
Thank
of our participants will be having lot of doubts, ma'am. If you give us permission, they will mail you, please.
Yes, yes, sure, sure. Thank you so much, the organizers and the
Thank you very
participants.
much, ma'am.
Okay.
And I request participants to take 5 minutes short break and join for the next session, please.